everyone, I'm Natalie Adams and thanks very much for tuning in to Smash Factor TV once again. We're going to have a look today at improving your greenside bunker play and especially if you're taking too much sand. So one of the main reasons that'll happen if you're taking too much sand before you hit the ball, or just basically taking too deeply into the sand, is first of all we need to check your setup position so that you have got your weight forward and on your front foot, on your left foot if you're a right-handed player, and then we need to take a look at your swing as well. So if we just look at setup to start with, if I just put the red alignment pole just between my feet to represent where the ball would be, we want to position the ball forward in the stance, so to the left of centre. We want a nice wide stance, and then we want to make sure that we've got about 70% of our weight on our front foot, on our left foot. So if we set up in this position, and we want to keep the weight there, so I would work on having my sternum or my nose over the red pole rather than the weight back on the right foot and the head back behind the ball. So work on getting your sternum over the ball position so the weight goes forward and onto the front foot, and it needs to stay there really as you play the shot. We're going to make sure that we use the wrist nice and early in the swing, but the legs are going to stay relatively still. There isn't going to be a lot of weight transfer, and it's really important that as you swing into the shot that you're not pulling back and then entering the sand too early. So the weight must stay on the front foot as you swing through, and turn the body as you play through. So really pivoting round, having the weight on that left foot. Okay, if you know you're set up in that position, you know your weight's staying forward, let's look at what's happening to the club as you swing back. So if I just set up as though I'm going to play a bunker shot here, and I put the red pole in just to represent the angle of the club, what's happening if you're hitting too steeply, if you're hitting too much sand, is you're hitting too steeply down. So the club head's coming up, the shaft's becoming too vertical, and then as you swing down, the club head's swinging back down, and again the shaft is too vertical as you're hitting the ball of handles too high from where it started. So what we want to do is just get a little bit deeper into the sand, bend the knees a little bit more, and just get the handle a little bit lower so that we get a slightly flatter start position with the shaft rather than holding the shaft up here. So from this position here we're going to swing back, but we want to work on the club head just coming around you a little bit more rather than it going too vertically up into the air. Big thing as you hit is to try and feel your hands are much closer and lower down to your thighs rather than up in this position, because that's going to get you to dig into the sand too much, and then you'll end up taking a big scoop of sand, going in too steeply, and the sand's going to take all the speed in the club head and the ball's just not going to pop out. So work on checking that your setup position's correct, and then have a look at that hand position. Make sure that your hands aren't up too high away from your thighs. Get them down nice and low, close to the thighs, bend the knees down, and then work on making sure that you keep your hands a little bit closer to your thighs as you play through the shot. You should find that you're taking a much shallower divot and that the ball's coming out onto the green.